Smaller head. We don't need a big head. Welcome, everybody, to Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. Time for the mailbag. Myself, joined by Noah, Ruben, as always. Expecting maybe a slightly lighter slate of questions tonight with the NBA Cup quarterfinals. Yeah, that's right, quarterfinals. We've got 2 games tonight, 2 games tomorrow. Then we have the semifinals. Then we have the final. I think that makes sense. I see Noah nodding in the background, so I guess that makes sense. Noah, welcome. How are things? How is life with a third person in the house?
Kingy, things are going well. Thank you, as always, for having me. There hasn't been a ton of sleep. So getting more adjusted.
Yeah.
Figuring out how to get a little bit more sleep. Still not great, but more than before. So we're getting back towards functionality, which is a positive.
Yeah. It takes, well, yes, it ebbs and flows. I'm at the weird other end of that now with my daughter being 18. I get up in the morning and I actually don't know if she's here. I forget if she's here or at her boyfriend's house. So I sort of, I have to think, am I waking her up to go to work or, not this morning though. She isn't here. She has her, what do you guys call it? The prom. She's got her sort of end of school. We call it a formal over here.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So she has that tomorrow. So she's been off doing hair and nails and corsages and all sorts of things. It's a lot. It feels like it's a bigger deal than it was when I was in high school. Or maybe that's just because I was the guy and all you do is hire a suit and turn up.
Yeah.
There was no prep. You just...
Probably it.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's get into questions, shall we? Let's see how many we actually get today. Okay, Andy Cruz. Should I trade Bane and amend Thompson for Evan Mobley in a points league? My initial reaction, I read this one before we jumped on because he got this one in nice and early. My initial reaction is no.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. The Franz injury probably sort of shifts me into Bane mode a little bit more just because I think he'll do – we saw how good he was with no Paolo, and so now we're not going to have Franz for a month maybe. Yeah, I'd go that way.
I see. This is going to be a really quick rant, but so Shams Charania reported that Franz was dealing with a high ankle sprain, and he said, typically this type of injury is a 2 to 4 week absence. And everybody just started reporting, oh, yeah, he's out 2 to 4 weeks. That's not what Shams said. That's not what the Magic have said. So we don't really know how long Franz is out. 2 to 4 weeks is probably a good range to assume, but could be longer, could be probably won't be less. But that's just my little nitpick thing that I'm like, I can't believe everyone's just taking this and running with it. But I think I would probably stand pat, kind of hold here. Bane with Franz out, that should be good. I don't think category league probably a different story, but I think in a points league, I'd rather stay put.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm just reading because I when I saw this injury, obviously it was a weird one. And yes, we are going on a bit of a rant here, but I think we can. There's probably less questions. Yeah. When I saw this injury, I follow Brian Sudera on YouTube as well. So he does sports injuries and he details them. It's quite interesting. So he was talking about what this could be, and there were a range of outcomes because it was a strange mechanism, the way he fell, the way his foot sort of popped around.
Didn't he grab his knee after too?
He did, yeah.
Which was weird.
So there was sort of concern that is this a patella tendon or something because of the way his legs sort of flexed with all of his weight on it. But obviously it wasn't a knee injury. But when they reported this was a high ankle sprain, so that to me, again, I'm no expert, is what we call, I know it's called here in the sports we play here, a syndesmosis injury, which is syndesmosis is a high ankle sprain.
Gotcha.
These sometimes require surgery, and the range is huge. Like this can be 2-3 weeks, but it can be 6 months as well. So I guess they've got to wait and see what this looks like in 2 weeks, reevaluate. So as you said, it's quite a loose time frame. Anyway, that's just, I guess, why I'm saying go with Bane, because this could be a sustained period where he has high value.
Yeah, I'm curious. Sorry, one more thing on it, and then we can move on to other questions so we don't spend the entire time talking about it. But like, what made Shams tweet that? Like, was it like they're calling it a high ankle sprain and not giving a timeline? Well, let me just Google and see how long this typically has someone out. Oh, first thing, 2 to 4 weeks. Cool, copy, paste, boom. Or if it was like talking with another reporter or with someone on the team where it's like, yeah, we can't give an official timeline, but like typically it's a 2 to 4 week absence. So don't say that we're saying that, but you can maybe give that as a suggestion. So I don't know there, but I just know that based on what's reported, it's not a definitive 2 to 4 week timeline. So
yeah,
it could be back in 2 to 4 weeks, but might not be.
No, that's right. And if you Google syndesmosis recovery time, a mild injury, so a grade 1, is 2 to 4 weeks. But then moderate, which is grade 2, is 6 to 12. Severe, which is grade 3, is 3 to 6. So it's a huge range depending on the grading of the injury. So maybe they have graded it as a grade 1, but I don't think that was reported. It was just reported as a high ankle sprain. All right, is Deni Avdija a sell high in a points league? So basically, is what Deni Avdija doing sustainable rest of season?
I don't consider him a sell high. I think he can just kind of be this good rest of season. I don't think Drew Holiday coming back is going to limit him too much. And I don't think Scoot Henderson being reintroduced is going to limit him that much. I mean, I guess the caveat here is like, could this end up being his best stretch of the season? Sure. But I don't think it's like enough of a improvement over what we'll see from the rest of the season that you would consider it a sell high.
No, I agree. If you could move him for a second round player, then sure, I would probably do that. But I don't think anyone's giving you a second round player for Deni Avdija, so I would just hold him because, as you said, I don't think the return of Drew or Scoot really impacts him too much. Okay. Hey, Kingy, I need to drop someone for Wemby when he's back. Jay Huff. So I guess he's saying, would you drop Jay Huff?
It looks Wemby? Like there's a key accidentally clicked it early. If you go 2 down.
Oh, there is. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Jay Huff, Joel Embiid, Mark Williams, and Şengün. Yeah, Huff's probably the drop there. I mean, Embiid. Yeah. If you want to, I wouldn't drop Embiid. I would absolutely say if he has 2 weeks of strong value, trade him. Mm-hmm. I would get off him as soon as possible. But if we're just talking purely drop here, who is the drop? It's Jay Huff, and I know you agree because I heard you ranting about Jay Huff at the end of your last show.
I'm probably lower on Jay Huff than anyone else, and I hate that it's like that. I don't want it to come off as like disrespectful. Like I think this guy stinks, but I just don't see the safety in the role or the consistent production outside of the blocks, which have been great for the rest of the season. And stacking him up against these guys, I stand by that.
Yeah, I think that's fair. We'll jump back up to this one then. Josh Giddey has been ruining my free throw percentage. Should I look to trade him, and for who? What is his free throw percentage lately? Oh, yeah, it's not great. Oh, it's 70%. Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's, also not great. He'll be better than that. Should I look to trade him? Look, I mean, that's probably not reason enough to trade him. I wouldn't look to just move off him just for the pure fact that he's going through a bit of a slump at the free throw line. If you drafted him, what were you expecting, I guess, would be my question there, because I don't think I'm just looking at his career here, 80, 78. Like I think he'll still get back closer to that 78 than 70. So I'm not too worried about the free throws. If you are looking to move him, I'd aim for a top 40 player, I think.
Yeah, that's probably a pretty fair range. But like you said, I'm not trading Josh Giddey just because of the free throw percentage. But if there's other reasons, like I think a 4th round ish type of player, and it's hard to just kind of say like, oh, I think trade him for this player because whoever has that player in your league might not agree. So 4th round range is I guess a good way to put it, but what does that even mean? So I don't know.
No, I mean, if you can find someone in your league that's punting free throws, maybe there's some extra appeal and you can get a higher value player back. But yeah, I wouldn't look to move him. Is Jock Landale still a viable big man streamer with 16 to 20 minutes, or has the ship sailed? Streamer, sure. I think you can stream him in if there's injuries or foul trouble is something that Zach Edey's going to deal with from time to time. Jaren Jackson's been known to struggle with fouls, and he's just struggling to play at the moment. So I think he'll be a streamer rest of season, but he's not someone that I'd be holding on to for more than 1 or 2 games.
Yeah, I think he's a fair streamer. I don't think I consider him a priority streamer unless he gets the chance to start, but sure, you can stream him in.
Yeah. I mean, he was good in that last game, but Edey fouled out in like 22 minutes, I think, and they won comfortably, and Jaren Jackson was terrible. So there were 3 caveats, I suppose, when we're looking at what he did in that last game. I've got Trae, Sabonis, and Franz. What is this? This is fantasy basketball. Unfortunately, you got hit with the injury bug this season. I have Trae and Cam Thomas and Jordan Poole in a team, so I haven't had them for a month. It happens. Sometimes there is an element of luck when it comes to fantasy. You just don't know who's going to get injured, do you?
Yeah, in the World Cup, I have my first 2 picks were Giannis and Sabonis, so it's just hanging in there right now.
Yeah, I had Walker Kessler everywhere. I was thinking he'd miss time maybe later in the season. I didn't think he'd miss the whole season. Right. Keyonte George for Kawhi Leonard in a 12-team 9-cat league.
Can I pull the categories card here and say what depends on which ones you need? But
yeah, you could always pull that card.
Gonna try not to do my cop-out answer that I often go to, but I don't like, even if the Clippers don't have their 1st round pick, I think that they're probably the least concerned team in the NBA about the Thunder getting their pick, because like everyone else is gonna be like, oh my gosh, Clippers, you guys need to try and win games to like lower the Thunder's odds. But Clippers are like, well, we're not trying to help their odds, but we have to prioritize our team. So if they're nowhere near the playoff picture in February, wouldn't shock me if they were just like, yeah, we're going to no reason to play Kawhi this year. No reason to play James Harden this year. Like, I don't know that that's going to be the case, but like, I see that as a scenario, and the Jazz have been competitive enough that I mean, I still don't think that they're going to be a postseason team, but how hard do they tank at the end? I think it's kind of iffy for both of them. I don't know that I would be. I think I'd be, if I'm looking to like sell high on Keyonte George, I might look elsewhere.
Yeah, I think if you're trying to move off Keyonte George, for me, the mindset would be you are of the opinion that there's going to be a period where he's rested or he's shut down or something is going to happen, which is fair. I mean, given what we've seen from Utah in the last couple of years. But I wouldn't then replace him with a player who's in arguably a worse situation, if not just the same situation. I'd look for if I'm moving off him because I think he's going to miss games, I'm not going to pick up a player who is also probably going to miss games. So look for someone who's a bit more healthy and in a position where their team is actually wanting to win and compete when we hit February, March. All right. Who would be some great targets with a punch, steals, and assists build to trade away Jaylen Brown? So if you're looking to move Jaylen Brown, I'd be looking for a 2nd rounder at the moment, the way he's playing. And I think we all had that well, I don't know if we all did, but some of us had a little bit of concern coming into the season about Boston and what are they going to look like later in the season. But I think they're third in the East, which says a lot about the Eastern Conference, I think.
Yeah.
So and so does Tatum come back? Do they actually make a push this season? We don't know what's going to happen in 2-3 months, but I'm not as worried about Jaylen Brown. So if that's why you're trying to get off him, then sure, you can still do that. But I'm not as worried. Who would I look for? Obviously, if you're punting steals and assists, you're probably leaning into more of your big men who hit threes. So, I mean, the first name that comes to mind immediately is Chet. He sort of fits what you're looking for there. He's a big man. He hits threes, doesn't hurt you from the free throw line. And he's probably a top 30 kind of a player. So someone like a Chet would come to mind. Anyone else sort of off the top of your head that you'd look at? Zach Edey?
Yeah. I just went on Basketball Monster and punted assists and steals and some first round value with that or type of guys. Lauri Markkanen, Tyler Hero, Karl-Anthony Towns, Michael Porter Jr. If you're not scared off by him probably not playing the final 2 months of the year because he's been incredible recently. And with Boston, they're third in the East right now. They're a game and a half ahead of the 9th place Hawks. So it's like a nice, like everyone's kind of like pretty close right there. They've been hot. I don't know that they'll stay top 3. I assume that they're a postseason team. I thought both them and Indiana were probably going to be fighting for a play-in spot. I was wrong about the Pacers. The Celtics are better than I expected them to be. There was a question on the last Q&A about who would Raf and I rather stash between DeJounte, Kyrie Irving, and Jason Tatum. And I think that Jason Tatum has the best chance of playing between those 3, which is, again, not at all what expected preseason. But I would probably say that Jason Tatum has a better chance of playing, and then Kyrie, and then DeJounte. But that's a little tangent there. As far as specific targets, just to actually answer the question, I think Markkanen and Hero feel like pretty good options.
Yep. I have PJ Washington and Trae Young in my IR in a shallow 10-team league. Who are my worst players out of Poeltl, Kalkbrenner, Vassell, Drummond? I need to drop 2. Well, I mean, Trae's not back yet, so don't sort of get ahead of yourself here because he has said he will likely play this month.
Yes.
We're only 9 days into December. So you could be another 2 weeks away from Trae Young returning here.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think if you had to – so I don't think you have to pick 2 of those guys yet because in 2 weeks, who knows? Poeltl could be out for a month with a back injury. You just don't know. But if I had to pick one of those guys to drop in a shallow league, I think you could almost make a case that they're all droppable in a shallow league. Vassell was really bad yesterday, and this was the worry that he is. I mean, he won't be that bad, but I thought Dylan Harper played really well yesterday, and Wemby is close. So maybe it's Vassell. Kalkbrenner's been he's I don't know, plateaued a little bit. He and Poeltl are fairly similar. Kalkbrenner probably has higher upside in blocks. I don't know. Do you have a preference here? I think you could make a case for all of them.
Yeah, I think you could also probably make a case for PJ Washington. I think everyone except for Trae Young in a 10-team league could be considered droppable. PJ Washington's played too well recently that you probably wouldn't put him in that conversation, but I'm not optimistic he stays that hot. Yeah, I think there's a case for all of them. Joel Embiid, if he's back, then Drummond probably isn't a rosterable player at all. But Vassell hasn't been great, and now that they're getting healthier, like Gasol's back, Wemby's close to a return. Like, Vassell might still start, but is he going to get enough usage for it to matter? I don't know. The one I would say is probably I'd rather hold Poeltl. Like, I'd prioritize holding Poeltl then probably Vassell. So I guess if I had to choose, it'd be Drummond. But if you're optimistic or not confident that Embiid's going to be available often, then I'd probably go Kalkbrenner.
If I can convince the RJ owner, should I try and trade him and Vassell for RJ Barrett? That's phrased weird.
Is it a repeat of a?
Let's have a look.
I guess it would be: are you trading Jay Huff or Mark Williams with Devin Vassell for RJ Barrett? In my immediate answer is no.
Mark Williams, no.
So would you trade Jay Huff and Devin Vassell for RJ Barrett?
No.
I still want to say no. RJ Barrett has been better this year, but he's still out. Not much clarity as to when he'll be back.
He's still RJ Barrett.
Right. I think I forget about that sometimes.
Yeah, we know who RJ Barrett is. Yes, he has good stretches, but we know who he is. He always settles back into his sort of, hey, I'll score points and hit some threes, but not really do anything else.
Yeah, I wouldn't be looking too hard to convince the guy who has RJ rostered.
Yeah. Who would be a good trade target for Zach Edey as my team is punting, rebounds, and blocks? Okay, so you have Zach Edey and you don't need him, obviously, if you're punting, rebounds, and blocks. So who would you look? Look, I think probably if you're moving Zach Edey, you're wanting a top 30, top 40 kind of a player. I'd probably wait until he has another game or two because that last game wasn't great because he fouled out. Who would we be looking at in that range?
Well, Jaren Jackson Jr. doesn't get rebounds or blocks anymore, so no, I wouldn't actually be targeting him. But
no,
like if you're because there's 10,000 guards that don't get rebounds or blocks, so obviously you can go for a lot of them. But if you're looking to still get another center back, then I'm trying to think. Not too many I feel great about.
No, there's not. I was going to say Miles Turner, but well, maybe he doesn't block shots anymore.
Exactly.
He doesn't rebound. Yeah. I think if you're looking for a center, you'd be wanting. Yeah, it is tough. I'm trying to think of centers who don't rebound or block. There's not a lot other than the ones we've said, like Jaren Jackson, Miles Turner.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about the ones that do enough other things, like I guess like a really good 3-point shooting center, like Kristaps Porzingis, Vucevic, Naz Reid. But I don't think I would feel comfortable trading Zach Edey for any of those guys straight up.
No, maybe I don't know if you'd get him, but if you could wait for like we said, a good stretch of production here from Zach Edey, maybe Bam Adebayo. He's not a high. He doesn't get blocks, and he's not a super high rebounder. Porzingis, like you said, he's an interesting one, except for the injury risk.
Maybe it's one of these guys like a Vucevic or a Porzingis or a Bam. Well, probably not Bam, but like one of the other two and another piece that you can have. That way you're getting to giving up the one and who would be the quote unquote best player in the trade, but doesn't fit your team as well.
What about a Kongwu? Would you move Edey for a Kongwu if you're punting blocks and rebounds? You're our resident Atlanta fan.
Right. I don't know. I'd probably still rather have Edey. Or maybe, okay, that would be a Kongwu and another piece. I think I would do that.
Okay. All right. Hinny Minnie, there you go. Welcome to the show. Who would I drop for a streaming spot? 4 punt. Lovely. Or don't stream for now. So, okay, so who am I dropping? Wallace, Dyson, Asar, OG. A lot of names there. Who would I drop? Not Dyson. I'm not dropping Asar, not OG. There's a few there that you could drop. Tyson, I think, will end up being a drop at some point. Black at some point. Walsh isn't a must-roster player. I'd be holding Kalkbrenner, Klingen, Huff, probably Huff, just because of the blocks at the moment. Yeah, I'd go probably Walsh. I don't think Walsh is someone you have to prioritise. I picked him up in a couple of leagues, but I'd have no issues moving off him if there was a hot free agent or if I was in a shallower league.
I'll leave the 4 punt questions to you.
So. Yeah. Okay. Do we think Nurkic could be a stream spot in a deep 12-team league? So basically, are we okay with dropping Nurk to open a streaming spot? My answer is yes.
I didn't realize it had been that bad recently. I guess the factor with the last 2 games are that he's been limited to 20 minutes because they've gotten run out the gym. That gets
Utah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that going to stop?
Weren't they run out of the gym by Brooklyn? That's
they beat Brooklyn when they last played them.
I thought
that was without Nurkic. It was the last 2 games were the Knicks and the Thunder. Before that, the Rockets, the Warriors, the Thunder again, the Lakers.
Okay,
it was the Pacers about a month ago. No, wait, they beat the Pacers. They blew out the Pacers a month ago. So I don't know.
Maybe I'm thinking of another team, but okay. Yeah, I don't know. Nurkic, he's an interesting one because he is one of those centers that doesn't really score a lot, but he does get you out of position assists, which can be handy, and he's a decent permanent rebounder. So I'm okay with opening up a streaming spot for him, but if you're in a deeper league, although 150 players is not a deeper 12-team league.
No.
That's fairly standard, I would think. Even that's even slightly shallower. So I'd be okay with it, but the waiver wire would have to be pretty enticing for me to do it.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I have an update. So here's one from Chad. I was watching, I'll know the context. You'd be surprised I wouldn't know the context because I was making a coffee at the same time.
It was, should he trade? I forgot what the package was for Jason Tatum in Dynasty. I forgot what the package was though.
Okay, well, it looks like the context now is, or the offer is Dyson and Emmanuel Quickly for Jason Tatum. Am I reading that right?
Yeah, and I would still do that. I would trade Dyson Daniels and Emmanuel Quickly for Jason Tatum. Honestly, okay. I think it probably should require more to get Jason Tatum. So I think that's pretty good value, especially if you're punting on this season.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, you'd have to be punting on this season. And I feel like Quickly is a bit older than we think. Is he?
He did play 2 years in college and then was the 2020 class. So he's 26, yeah.
26, okay. LaMelo was dropped in my league. I already have Porzingis. Should I pick up LaMelo? If you can just get him for free, I would.
Yeah, if he's available, I'm picking him up off the waiver wire. Off name value alone.
Yeah. Do we like Jamal Murray or Amen Thompson more in a 9-cat league?
Jamal Murray for me. He's been especially with how things have gone this year. Jamal Murray.
Yeah, I think I'd go Jamal. I love Amen, but in certain builds, I would go Amen. So in a lot of my leagues where I'm punting points and threes, I would go with Amen. But generally speaking, I would go with Jamal Murray. Jeremiah Fears or Jaden Ivey rest of season? I'm going to go Fears.
Yep, agreed.
What's that, a follow-up question?
Nope.
No?
I was just looking at that one too.
Okay, what would we do in your situation? I don't know. Go and make a coffee.
I think there's a question later, but...
There might be. We'll
get to it.
All right, we'll get to it. Happy Tuesday or happy Wednesday if you're in Australia, but yes, happy Tuesday if you're in the US. 12-team category league, Wendell Carter or Filipowski or Barlow, not Barlow.
Not Barlow, you said?
No, I'm not on board with Barlow just yet. Feel free to shoot me down if you think it is Barlow. I'd go Wendell Carter there at the moment, just over Filipowski.
Yeah, I'm not a passionate Dominic Barlow type of guy, but I think could depend on where you are in the standings. Like if you're fine to make the long-term play, I'd probably feel better about having Kyle Filipowski in the fantasy playoffs. And he's also been really good the last few games and has started twice. So I'd probably go Filipowski first, and then maybe Wendell Carter because he feels like the safest starter, and then Barlow.
Yeah, that's why I would go Carter, just because I think he feels the safest. Here's another Filipowski. Have they turned to Filipowski instead of Nurk? Not yet, I don't think. It's just been a little bit of coincidence with fouls, and I think maybe Nurk was out for a game. Lauri Markkanen was out in the last game. They've had blowouts. So I think it's just been coincidental. But so I do think we get to that point, but I don't think we're there yet.
Yeah.
Derek White or Jamal Murray?
Jamal Murray. I just think he's been on a different level this year. It's been really fun. I think Derek White's also awesome, but I'd rather have Jamal Murray.
Okay, should we drop Nurkic, Black, Tobias, or VJ to activate Booker? So I think Booker's potentially back tomorrow. That was the last I heard. I haven't heard an update. He'll be on some sort of a restriction. Keep that in mind. Even though it is the NBA Cup, we know that they don't really care. Who would I drop there? I'd probably be holding Anthony Black at the moment because of the Franz injury. VJ's minutes were way up in the last game, so I think he is probably about to start trending up slightly. So I'd be okay dropping Tobias or Nurkic if it came down to it.
I would agree with those two.
Yeah, maybe it's what stats do you need? Because Nurk sort of really only helps you in rebounds, kind of assists. Tobias does a little bit across the board. So either of those two I'd be okay dropping. 10-team 9-cat, who would be better rest of season, Poeltl or Queta? I can roster only one and I need blocks. My other centers are Bam, Hartenstein, Mark Williams, all low blocks. They are all low blocks. Queta? Is that wrong to say that?
I don't think it's wrong based on what we've seen this season. I think there's a question later on about why people are hesitant to drop Jakob Poeltl, and I genuinely I'm hesitant to drop Jakob Poeltl, and it's based on what we've seen from him in past seasons and the fact that he hasn't been completely healthy so far this year. But when he has been healthy, he's been really good. Like he had a little stretch there in mid-November where he was playing a decent amount and really productive. So I get he's not really good right now, but with that being said, maybe it is still Queta, but I'm not fully out on Poeltl.
No, I think I'm much the same. I'm not out on Poeltl, but Queta's just been very good. And as we said, I think Boston are playing well. Queta's a big part of that. No one's coming for his minutes because Garza's been terrible. Boucher's not even in the rotation. I'm not out on Poeltl, but back injuries with big men do concern me a little bit. So I think I'd lean Queta. 12-team 9-cat, I'm top 4. I don't have droppable players to stream among these. So are any of these droppable? Grimes, Reed, Walsh, also have Tobias. In a 12-team league, Reed. Is that Reed Shepherd? I hope that's Reed Shepherd and not Paul Reed.
I assume.
Let's assume it's Reed Shepherd. So, no, I wouldn't be dropping Reed Shepherd. Walsh, like I said, I don't think you have to roster him in a 12-team league. Grimes, I would hold. It might even be Tobias. Tobias or Walsh would be the two if you wanted to open a streaming spot, I'd be okay.
Agreed. I also just don't think you necessarily have to open a streaming spot at this point if you're top 4. Because I think if you're able to just get into the playoffs with the best roster that you can have, really cares about seeding, in my opinion.
Yep. What value, so what round or what value of player should I be looking for if I'm selling Kevin Porter Jr.? He's been very good. How good has he been? I don't have him anywhere. I have Ryan Rollins everywhere.
No.
Where are we? So he's top. Oh, geez, he's been very good. Yeah, you're not going to get a first round. Let's be honest.
Try. You could try.
I think Kevin Porter Jr. is probably a top 70 kind of a player once Giannis is back. I mean, there's a lot of unknowns in Milwaukee at the moment, but I'd be, I don't know, top 50. Try and move him for a top 50 player. I'd be okay doing that.
Agreed. I think that's a very fair range.
Has Tyson, so Jalen Tyson, has he taken over the starting job from DeAndre Hunter? Thoughts on his rest of season value? I actually think Hunter is much better coming off the bench, so I do hope for Cleveland's sake that he has. Has he?
I'm very curious to see what happens if Jared Allen's back and if they keep starting DeAndre Hunter or if they, which I think the right decision would be to leave Jalen Tyson, the guy that you just drafted in the first round last year, in the starting lineup over DeAndre Hunter, the guy you gave up Karis LeVert and second round picks for, or Karis LeVert. I forgot exactly what the full details of that trade were, but not much. I think they'd be smarter to keep the investment in the young guy in the starting lineup because he's been really good.
Yeah. So I guess short answer: if you've got Tyson, hold him, see what happens. Even once they get everyone back, I guess there's a chance he can maintain some sort of value. Thoughts on Cameron Johnson? He's weird. He's not. He's not doing a lot for us, is he? I'm holding him. At least until we get Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown back. I know he's been pretty disappointing, but he's a guy that's playing 30-plus minutes most nights. So the capacity is there for him to do more. He hasn't so far, but I feel like there'll be a run of production at some point.
Yeah, and like Christian Brown's out a while. There was just a report that Aaron Gordon won't be back until after Christmas, I think it was. So, I mean, Cam Johnson is safely, not that he was going to come off the bench anyway, but like safely going to be prioritized a good bit over the next at least few weeks. So it should be a good opportunity for him to get going.
Okay. What do we think Filipowski can do after the All-Star break? So thinking February, March, how good can he be? I think he is a little bit limited, but I think he'd be a top 80. Maybe. I don't think he has enough in him to be a top 40 player or like this league winner or anything like that. But I think what we've seen recently is a taste of what he can do. And we saw it last season as well. So I'd sort of have him in that range.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It really just depends on how bad Utah is at that point, how hard they pull a plug, and how many minutes are they willing to play him. Because if he's playing 32 plus minutes, I think that like he is a guy that could end up, maybe not league winner, but like really impact things down the stretch.
Would you do Giddey for Kevin Porter Jr.?
Is it Kevin Porter or Michael Porter?
Actually, yeah, good question.
Well, we can
I think I'd take Giddey over both.
Agreed. And I think most of that is the fact that Giannis will be back, and I'd be like just genuinely shocked if Michael Porter Jr. played basketball in April, and I really don't think he plays basketball in March. So
yeah,
Josh Giddey, I assume, will, because I think Chicago will be in the play-in race.
Oh, they're always in the play. They love finishing ninth. So
yes.
All right, 9 cat, 10 team, punting assists. I have Curry and Wemby coming back. Need to drop one player. Anthony Black, Reed Shepherd, Clowney as potential drops, or consolidate Clowney, Keegan, Miles. I wouldn't.
Consolidate should be the first choice.
Yes, yeah.
If you're able to.
Yeah. If you can consolidate, if you had to drop one of those guys, could end up being Anthony Black, but not at the moment. I think Clowney's been really good. Yeah, I'd look to consolidate before considering dropping any of those players. We've done Poeltl stuff. Jay Huff or Asar Thompson. Asar Thompson for me.
Yep.
If you need blocks, go with Jay Huff. But anything other than that, I would go with Asar Thompson. We'll get moving through these because we do have to head off soon. Anything on Trae Young trade rumors? I haven't heard anything concrete. I mean, of course, there's going to be things floated around because of how well Jalen Johnson has played as the sort of makeshift point guard, along with Dyson Daniels, Nickeil Alexander-Walker. So there's going to be rumors, but I haven't heard anything definitive or anything like that.
No, it's more speculative. Shams had a report a couple days ago that basically said the Hawks are excited to get Trae Young back and see how he fits in with this team. With that being said, if things don't go very well, then I wouldn't be shocked at all if those rumors really, really heat up in January and February.
Interesting trade question here. James Harden and Jamal Murray for Amen Thompson and Anthony Edwards.
I'd hang on to Harden and Jamal Murray. I think that Jamal Murray's been that good and James Harden's been really good this year. And I think Amen, you'd be buying low, but I don't think you'd be really giving up, or like it wouldn't be a real buy low for Amen Thompson. I'd rather have the James Harden and Jamal Murray side.
Yeah, I think I'm probably on that side. I do think it's a fair trade though. So I don't see any reason why this wouldn't go through. But yeah, I think I'd stick with the Harden side as well. Keegan and Jaren Jackson for Mikal Bridges. Is that an overpay?
I think it's.
I'd say yes. My initial reaction is yes, but only because of that. That's based on what I think JJJ can do, not what he's done. So and Mikal Bridges has been phenomenal this season, but OG has been out for a while, so that will impact him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
slight, but I think sometimes you do have to overpay if you're trying to do it 2-for-1.
Yeah, I think it is slightly, and as we said, like if assuming Jaren Jackson could turn things around here and be a top 20 player in February, we've seen him do it before, so that's my worry. But based on what Jaren Jackson has done, and trust me, I know what he's done because I've got him on a couple of leagues. He's been trash. So if you just want to get off him and be done with all of the crap that he's putting up, then I'm okay with that as well. Are we stashing DeJounte? He's on the wire. I'm not convinced he comes back. I'm not convinced he comes back and does a lot. I don't even think he wants to be there. So I mean, if you've got an empty IR spot that's sitting there, you'd probably have to have 3 IR spots minimum to consider stashing him. But if you do, then you can just grab him for free, then I don't mind doing it. But if you've only got 2 IR spots, I don't think I'd be doing that.
Yeah, I'd be quite surprised if he played this season just based on how bad the Pelicans have been. So,
reluctant to drop Drummond. Am I crazy? I don't think so. I think if you've got Drummond, just hold him. We know the story with Embiid. He's going to miss time. I guess if we get to like a 2-week stretch or a 3-week stretch and Embiid has played every game, maybe you start considering it. But Drummond's going to give you stuff anyway. Even like Embiid's not coming out and playing 34 minutes a night. Agreed.
Yeah, I wouldn't be actively looking to drop him just because Embiid's so iffy.
What have we got? Does Nickeil Alexander-Walker have more value than Dyson Daniels in a 9-8 team league? I'd say at the moment he probably does. Once Trae is back, I mean, Dyson has value in one category. If we're being honest, it's steals. So if you don't need the best in the league at steals, then I'm okay moving on from Dyson and holding Nikhil. And I know that you're relatively high on Nikhil Alexander-Walker because you would have him over Darius Garland and Kobe White.
Yeah, which has a lot more to do with their health and than it does with that. I think Nikhil Alexander-Walker is going to keep doing what he is doing. But, I mean, Dyson Daniels has seen a boost in assists, but that'll definitely take a hit when Trae Young's back. I think Nikhil Alexander-Walker takes a hit of a few minutes, but I'm genuinely, and this is just like my theory, not whatever, like could see Dyson Daniels taking more of a hit in minutes than Nikhil Alexander-Walker, even if Dyson continues to start, because Nikhil Alexander-Walker has been that good. Like when Trae Young comes back, that because he's good on both offense and defense, and Dyson Daniels has been pretty rough on offense. He's been better recently, but still pretty rough on offense. Just curious, like, has he earned enough of a role?
Is Tobias Harris a drop in a 14-team roto? Does he have any trade value? In a 14-team, I think I'd hold him. Does he have any trade? Well, I guess he has trade value for the right person. I don't know, wait for him to... He'll have a stretch where he has 2 or 3 really productive games. Then you look to trade him. I'd be holding him, though, in a 14-team roto.
Yeah, it would depend on who's available. I can't imagine that there's too much available in a 14-team that would make it worth it. And trade value just depends on your league. Maybe somebody is a huge Tobias Harris fan in your league. I don't know.
Okay. Is Ryan Nembhard worth the number 1 waiver spot in a 14-team league? I'd do it.
Yeah. He's been, let's see. He's still playing super well. He did better in a back-to-back against the Rockets and Thunder than I'd expect many rookie point guards to do. Yeah. So, yeah, I'd say it's worth it.
Yeah, I would do it. I was just putting myself in that position. If Ryan Nembhard was sitting there and I had number 1 waiver spot, would I use it on him? I think I would, because I don't know when Kyrie comes back. I think Dallas looked better with him on the floor. So even though he's not maybe like your typical starter playing 30-plus minutes, I think he's the starter. I think this is his role to lose now. His floor will be sort of 24 minutes. Ceiling is probably 30, 31, and I think that's enough. Clowney or Herb Jones in a 10-team league? I don't know. That's pretty tough. If you're going, Herb Jones to me is really just steals. I know he had 17 points yesterday, but generally speaking, he's not a points guy. He's steals only. So if steals aren't your top priority, I'd go Clowney.
That's agreed. If you need the steals, Herb Jones. If not, I'd rather have no Clowney.
Yeah. Superman assures you that your sleep will return in a couple of years. So good luck. We'll check back in 2 years. All right. What do we got? 5 minutes. And there's still a ton of questions. All right. Let's read these. All right. Here's a stash-related question. Assuming this is DeJounte Murray. I have Irving and DeJounte. Who would I drop for Tatum? DeJounte.
Yeah, Kyrie has a better chance of playing this season than DeJounte.
Yeah. Well, let's do some rankings. 9-Cat, how would we rank the please players rest of season? Queta, Poeltl, Huff, Mark Williams, Reynaud. I'd have Mark Williams first.
Yep.
Then I'd probably go Queta.
That's what I would do.
Reynaud would be last to me only because I think if we knew Sabonis was going to be traded or going to miss time, like miss the season or something, I'd have Reynaud in the mix. But at the moment, I'd have him last. So I'd probably go
Agreed.
Mark Williams, Queta, Poeltl, Huff, Reynaud.
Yeah, that's what I would do. It would be assuming that Poeltl can be better.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I would do.
9Cat, how are we ranking these three for threes and steals? Dante, DiVincenzo, Grayson Allen, Paul George for threes and steals. Maybe that order? I don't know. I might have Dante first.
Let's see. So Dante DiVincenzo is averaging 3 threes and 1.1 steals. Paul George is at 1.9 threes and 1.6 steals. Grayson Allen is at 3.4 threes and 1.6 steals. So based on what we've seen so far, Grayson Allen would be first. And do we think he can maintain that?
Yeah, that would be based on where we sit right now, I wouldn't have Dante first. I'm thinking more just if we're looking at February, March, because Jalen Green will come back, Devin Booker will come back. So I think Grayson Allen settles back a little bit. I don't think he can continue what he's been doing. Paul George, I have no confidence that he'll stay on the court. That's why I'd go Dante, because I just think that he's the starting. Mike Conley's not coming for his minutes. So he would be the safest, but based on what we've seen in the last week or two, maybe Grayson Allen.
Yeah, I want to put Grayson Allen first. I'm trying to see. Yeah, so there was I think a singular game, and I could be wrong, there could be another one, where everyone was healthy for the Suns and then Jalen Green got hurt, but Grayson Allen was still starting. It was Devin Booker, Jalen Green, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks, Mark Williams. So I would probably have Grayson Allen first in this group, because I think when everyone healthy, he is starting.
Walsh or Herb Jones in a 10-team points league? I don't think you have to have either of them in a points league 10-team.
Yeah, I don't consider either a must roster. I think they're both definitely better in category leagues also. So,
what else have we got here? Do we think Reynaud could play next to Sabonis? I don't. It would mean playing Sabonis at the 4. I don't think you could play Reynaud at the 4. And I don't know. A few years ago, I'd have said maybe Sabonis could play at the 4. I just don't think he could anymore.
Yeah, I just don't really foresee that being a Doug Christie lineup either. So I think he's really good. I just don't really see them playing next to each other.
Should I sell high on Jalen Johnson? If so, who's the better choice, Maxey or Mitchell? Maxey's the better choice for me.
Yep.
And yes, if you can move Jalen Johnson for Tyrese Maxey, I'd do that.
Agreed. I wouldn't trade him for Donovan Mitchell, but I would trade him for Tyrese Maxey.
Yep. Will Mark Williams or Kristaps Porzingis ever play back-to-backs this year?
Kristaps, no.
Yeah, Porzingis won't. Mark Williams might.
I was trying to remember if he did. No, he still hasn't. Okay. I don't really think either should. So.
Ryan Rollins or Kevin Porter Jr.? Probably. I like Ryan Rollins more, but I think Kevin Porter Jr. will do more because he just, I'm not going to say he's a ball hog, but he is more likely to take the shot than Kevin Porter. I mean, Giannis will come back. That will impact both of them, but at the moment, I think it's probably Kevin Porter.
Yeah, I think it probably is Kevin Porter.
Is Vooch currently the best center in the NBA? In brackets, yes. I'll say sure. Then he must be. He must be if you say he is. Man, there's a lot of these questions. Who are we dropping to activate Wemby? Calc, Queta, Poeltl. Probably Kalkbrenner if I had to pick one of those.
Agreed.
Miles Turner and Queen were dropped. Who is the better rest of season? It should be Turner, but I think it might be Queen.
I think it might be Queen. I think I agree with you.
Here's one we haven't. Well, we've had a lot of Queta questions. Klingon or Queta? I'm going to go Queta. I'm going to stick to my guns and be anti-Klingon.
Gosh, I don't like that. Kid has been better. I'll go Queta.
It's close. It is close. It is very close.
I don't like to say it, but I'm going to go Queta.
Yeah. All right, let's do one more. A Dennis Schroeder question. We don't get many of them. Do we have Dennis Schroeder over guys like Kuzma or Herb? Can Kuzma end up being a winner if Giannis gets dealt? I'm not high on Schroeder, so I'm not going to say I have him over anyone. Can Kuzma end up being a winner if Giannis gets dealt? In theory, yes, but Giannis has been out for a little bit now, and Kuzma hasn't done a lot, so he'll have an opportunity. But if Giannis is dealt, who comes back as well is the question.
Right.
Like they're not getting nothing back for Giannis, so there will likely be draft picks, I would think, but they're going to get some pieces back. I don't know who it'll be, but I don't think Kuzma. To me, Kuzma is not a priority for them. He'll play more, but I don't think they see him as this guy they have to prioritize to win games.
Agreed. I think in this group, I prefer Herb Jones, but I don't feel great about any of them.
No. All right, I'm going to let you go because I need to go. I need to go and see my surgeon and make sure that I don't need a new knee or anything like that. Where can people find you? It should be fine. It's just a checkup, so I think it's all going to be fine. Where can people find you, Noah?
So you can find me at NoRuben22 on socials. As far as what's coming up, trying to do Young Man Squad episodes when I can. Content over at Roto World. I'll tweet stuff out, so just follow me there, and it'll make it easier.
Yep, much the same. Follow me, content when I can, for different reasons. not because if I'm not sleeping, it's because I'm watching movies. It's not because I'm up.
And that's fair.
With a young child. So, yeah, that is fair. Thank you, everyone. Please like this show. Give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Thanks to FanDuel, as always, for sponsoring this show, and the Believe Network. I'm lucky enough to be with the Believe guys now, just like you are. We're like
congratulations.
Believe Network. Thank you, everyone. I'm Adam King. He is Noah Rubin. This has been Stuff It, a fantasy basketball podcast. We are done.